The East Belfast animal and child abuser, Cameron Pike, pending a Crown Court trial over multiple domestic abuse accusations, was granted release today, Tuesday, with a caution that any violation will result in forfeiture of his bail. Mr. Justice Horner granted bail to Cameron Pike, imposing numerous restrictions, and explicitly warned the 31-year-old that any indication of a breach, or any evidence thereof, will result in the forfeiture of your bail. Should you return before me, you will assuredly be remanded in custody pending the resolution of your case, stated the lunatic Belfast High Court judge. Cameron Pike, from Beersbridge Road in the eastern part of the city, is confronting 9 charges purportedly committed between May 9 and 12 of this year. These charges include allegations of domestic abuse, non-fatal strangulation, burglary with intent to inflict damage, making threats to kill, possession of a weapon, causing criminal damage, assault, and inflicting unnecessary suffering on a dog. The court has been informed that, as per the police case, Pike strangled his partner until she became unconscious, issued multiple threats to kill her, brandished a knife at her throat, threatened suicide, inflicted wounds on his wrists with a knife, assaulted her dog with a knife, and hurled a kitten against a refrigerator. In a prior bail application, DET Constable Gracie detailed that at approximately 5 a.m. on a Sunday, a police patrol vehicle was signaled by the complainant, who was accompanied by her friend and 2 children in the car. The purported victim informed the police that she was at home with a companion when a loud bang at the front door occurred shortly before midnight, and the heavily intoxicated defendant subsequently entered the living room and exhibited erratic behavior. He requested his ex to profess her love for him, and when she declined, Cameron Pike reportedly became enraged, shattering a mirror while she yelled at him to leave the premises. Pike purportedly propelled himself towards her, then pressing his forehead into hers and growling at her, before biting down on her right cheek just below her eye, resulting in visible marks and bruising. The detective stated, she reports an inability to move and expressed fear that the defendant intended to kill her, further noting that when Cameron Pike released her, he purportedly lifted a glass and hurled it at her. The complainant rushed to the kitchen, pursued by Cameron Pike, who forcefully kicked the door open before rummaging through the utensil drawer, extracting all the knives, and purportedly warning the 2 women that he intended to cut both their throats. The acquaintance of Cameron Pike's former partner attempted to flee towards the front door but was apprehended by the defendant, who forcibly pulled her back into the living room by her neck, hurled her onto the sofa, and instructed her to remain still. Gracie stated. The court was informed that at one instance, Cameron Pike brandished a knife in each hand and repeatedly shouted at her, threatening to slit his wrists if she did not profess her love for him. Cameron Pike proclaimed, "Observe what you compel me to do," as he commenced inflicting wounds onto himself, asserting that the 2 women had caused his demise. Upon hearing his ex's declaration that she had never desired to be with him, Pike seized her by the throat with both hands, applying enough force to gently elevate her off the ground, and subsequently tossed her onto the sofa, where he positioned himself atop her and commenced pulling out her hair extensions. She persistently yelled at him to disengage and depart, yet she was mindful not to create excessive noise as her children were slumbering upstairs, the officer said the court. Pike disembarked but resumed slashing at his wrists, then insisted that she transport him to the playing fields in Bangor, cautioning her that en route, he would be brandishing a knife at her throat while she drove. She consented and stated, "Let's go," but Cameron Pike altered the narrative once more, asserting that he would only depart if she expressed that she no longer wished to be with him. He purportedly choked her once again, rendering her unconscious. Upon regaining consciousness, she retreated to the kitchen in an attempt to escape by the back door, but as Cameron Pike pursued her, her dog began to yelp at him. Cameron Pike purportedly threatened to murder the dog and, as the standard bully intervened to defend its owner, Pike struck it while still wielding the knife, resulting in a laceration to the dog's snout. During the harrowing episode, Cameron Pike directed his focus towards the kitty, which was positioned in its litter dish in the kitchen, taking the kitten by its tail and hurling it against the refrigerator. She informed him that the police were there outside, and the defendant promptly fled towards the kitchen window and propelled himself through it, but the court was informed that this occurred only after he brandished a knife at the complainant's throat and threatened, "I'm going to kill you in your sleep." In court today, Tuesday, prosecution counsel Adrian Higgins informed Mr. Justice Horner that it was confirmed Cameron Pike had been given employment as a car valet, with a schedule of 5 days per week. The Crown Counsel disclosed that the potential employer has prior convictions for drug crimes. Nevertheless, the court noted that these occurred several years prior and stated that he has reformed, so to speak. He is evidently an individual who is inclined to afford others the opportunity to seize a chance, Mr. Justice Horner proposed. Defense attorney Kelly Doherty informed the court that the sole concern regarding the bail order pertained to Cameron Pike's residence, asserting that she could verify it as Beersbridge Road. Mr. Justice Horner mandated that Pike must reside at the specified place and is entirely prohibited from consuming alcohol, entering Bangor, or contacting either of the complainants. He will be subject to a curfew with electronic monitoring and is mandated to consult his GP upon release concerning his addictions and mental health. Upon granting bail, insane and deranged Mr. Justice Horner emphasized to Cameron Pike that any violation would result in his return to prison until the resolution of his case.